Yeah, I'm ready.
Can I just draw your attention to Antonio Pisa, who's going to give a bit of a presentation, and I think he's going to ask for your contribution.
Thank you. I came here to talk about construction, but really all I care for is comics. I really like comics. I always liked comics. When I was a child, I loved comics, and what I liked about comics is the possibility they gave me to dwell into a world of epic quests and incredible adventures. And although homework did limit my possibility to enjoy such activity, that need for an epic quest kind of, is still there. And from comics, it became my passion for illustration, contemporary art, painting, and eventually architecture. And I found myself in a very posh design office in Milan, drawing toilet blocks for a Dolce & Gabbana showroom. And I thought, okay, that's not epic, is it? What was it missing? There was something quite not there. Although Dolce & Gabbana toilet blocks are really good. I mean, I would recommend designing them if you can. What was missing was the bigger picture. Why are we doing this? Why do we design? Why do we build? Why do we maintain our built asset? And eventually, I left Italy and arrived here in the UK. And I joined a very good, a very large design practice, someone here knows about. And immediately, I became extremely passionate about sustainability, because that gave me that kind of epic quest, something worth fighting for. And through my passion for sustainability, I started collaborating with Paul Morel for the low carbon industry strategy, the 2050 group, CIC, and eventually landed into the Construction Excellence World and G4C. And last year, I was nominated, to my great surprise, being an immigrant, co-chair for G4C. And for the first time, we would like to start a cross-industry campaign in changing the way the general public perceive us. So we know contractors have done it in the past. Consultants do try to brand themselves in the best possible way. But for the first time, we would like to be united, the entire industry, changing the way we communicate our industry.
We have a big role to play in this economy. And growth in construction benefits many other parts of the economy. The industry, the construction industry, has enormous reach. The CBI has described construction as being at the heart of the economy. And Construction 2025 is not a government strategy. It's a partnership strategy. It's a partnership between industry and government. Sadly, this vision for 2025 is of an industry that is in many ways different to the industry we have today. So we need to change. We need to show the differences that construction makes to the world.
Well, the core of it was identifying that consumers out there were frightened of the techno future that was coming their way. They knew it was coming, they didn't know what to do with it, and they needed a guide to take them through it. And there's a real lesson there for all image changing. It's about reality and not just smoke and mirrors. And there's a special reason why that is true, and Peter spoke about the difficulty of people changing their minds. Well, I'm going to disrupt your evening by throwing in some brain science now, so your heads are going to start hurting. But I'm going to show you, we study at Engine how the brain works. And the big single obvious fact is that brains do not like changing their minds. The bit we think is our mind is the system 2 mind. This is our newer neocortex. And it's not a rational mind, it's a rationalizing mind. The typical model is that mind makes a decision and that mind then justifies it. So it's not enough just to communicate rational things about the construction industry. Yes, there is rational information, but you've got to embed it into an emotional landscape that will work with the consumer. It's actually altruism, but it's invisible altruism.
How can open data help the construction industry to overcome the issues that we are facing, ahead of the 2025 milestone?
Open data is any data which an organisation chooses to share and make available to other people.
They're realising that their data has a fundamental value and a power which can only be unlocked by opening it up to the general public and to public view.
It's a struggle for a lot of the incumbent players to even understand what it is.
Why be in an industry where you're the top player, but actually the average is dragged down by the quality of the people around you? Much better to be in an industry where the average is higher, and you can still be the top player.
This has been a learning experience for me, so I thank you both for that. I can see value in it 100% on all the streams that we've kind of discussed.
If you focus and really commit to doing things with open data and big data, the benefits, I think, are shown to be huge, absolutely huge.
We need to kind of move out and try to find a format to measure not only building performance, but the impact of the construction industry within society. Trying to answer this question, who can handle the complexity and variety of the built environment data? We looked at open data. What tends to happen is, if you have a data set and you give it away, you suddenly are able to leverage a community, a global community of software developers who will try to do something with your data set. Or, in commercial terms, you get free R&D. And after a small software house based somewhere in Shoreditch comes back with a new app using your own data, you suddenly realize there's a new business model. Transport for London releases information regarding bus, and you end up with Citymapper. And off the back of the data tracking that Citymapper can deliver, Transport for London gets a fantastic benefit. A freshly refurbished home. Feels great, right? All the new materials, bright colours and crisp details? But it's a shame the building work had to be such a nightmare. All the spiralling costs and mixed messages and the mistakes on site. Why does construction always need to be so complex? Well, because it is. Every project is made of many tasks. Each task has variables, each variable comes with risks. So, in order for every task to run smoothly, you've either got to be seriously lucky or pay the premium for professional management. Or, try Project Easy. It's free. Project Easy is a project management app designed for small construction projects. Project Easy enables real-time monitoring, progress and payment transparency, improved communication and collaboration. One app, two interfaces. One for the client and one for the contractor. Project Easy will gather all the key project data, including task start, duration, predecessors, and lead times. Once the data is logged, Project Easy will create a project program and keep both client and contractor up to date with what needs doing. Real-time tracking of progress means any potential risks or delays are flagged in advance before they can become a problem. Project Easy keeps an open logbook and makes communication, budgeting and monitoring easy. Project Easy. Nice home. Easy.
I think we've lost something. As architects, we have lost part of our social and professional relevance. And that happened when architecture ceased to provide value to society and became a technique to mitigate risk and a technique to ensure return on investment. Now, there is nothing wrong with return on investment, but good architecture is a bit more than that. Every architect knows that good architecture is more than capital gain. A good housing estate brings people together to form communities. Good public space drives crime down. A good school fosters a generation of more engaged citizens. And good office space increase productivity. Now, some of the evidence is out there, but it's difficult to measure. And even when you can measure, it's difficult to compare, and even when you can compare, it's difficult to improve. In recent years, BIM has been good. BIM has made buildings more easy to measure. But BIM is just about buildings. BIM is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to data. On the other hand, open data could empower every single architect with the evidence of the social value of our work. Now, I need your vote. If you vote for me, I will bring with me on the RIBA Council the energy required to embrace the potential of open data, and with that, give back to every single architect in the UK their pivotal role in society.